What if the first advanced civilization on Earth wasn't us? We've been told the story of human history. Nomads evolved into farmers. Farmers built villages. Villages became cities. Then, a few thousand years later, pyramids, writing, space travel. That's the timeline in every schoolbook. But what if it's not the full story? What if there was something else, something older, that doesn't fit into what we've been taught? This isn't science fiction. This is real archaeology, strange myths, and overlooked evidence that might just change how we understand ourselves. Let's dive in. In 1994, a farmer in southern Turkey stumbled on a piece of stone sticking out of the ground. Nothing unusual, just a rock, maybe. But when archaeologists came in, that rock turned out to be the tip of a forgotten world. The site is called Göbekli Tepe, and it turned our understanding of early humans upside down. Why? Because it's 11,000 years old, older than the pyramids, older than Stonehenge, and yet, somehow more advanced than it should be. Massive stone pillars, arranged in perfect circles. Some weigh 10 tons and are almost 20 feet tall. They're carved with detailed images of animals, lions, scorpions, birds, all done by hand, with no metal tools. And here's the kicker. This place was built before humans were supposed to have even learned to farm. So who built it? How? Why? And then there's the biggest mystery. Why did they bury it on purpose? This wasn't left to crumble with time. The people who built Göbekli Tepe intentionally covered it up, as if to protect it, or hide it. These questions don't have answers. Not yet. But they do point to one thing. Maybe we weren't the first advanced civilization. We think of ancient people as primitive, basic tools, hunting and gathering, just trying to survive. But think about this. If we had to build something today, without machines or electricity, could we lift a 10-ton pillar and set it into place with perfect alignment? Exactly. These people weren't basic. They were skilled, organized, possibly even more advanced than we give them credit for. And that opens the door to a bigger question. What if something happened, something catastrophic, that wiped away nearly everything they built? In this video, we're going to explore the evidence that suggests an advanced civilization may have existed long before the one we know. We'll dive into ancient ruins, massive floods, global myths, and underwater cities. This isn't just about rewriting history. It's about seeing the full story, the one that might still be hidden under layers of dirt, or buried beneath the ocean, the cataclysm we forgot. Let's go back even further. About 12,800 years ago, Earth was warming up after the Ice Age. Life was returning. And then, something happened. A sudden cold snap, one that lasted over 1,000 years. It's called the Younger Dryas. Temperatures dropped. Glaciers returned. Megafauna like mammoths and saber-toothed cats started dying out. Human populations shrunk, migrated, or disappeared. What caused it? One leading theory is that a comet or asteroid hit Earth. And there's some compelling evidence to back it up. Scientists have found a mysterious layer in the soil, full of melted glass, tiny diamonds, rare metals like platinum. These things only form under extreme heat and pressure, like a massive impact. Traces of this impact layer have been found in North America, Greenland, and beyond. If there was a thriving human society at that time, this event could have erased it. Flooded coastlines, burned cities, forced survivors into scattered groups with nothing left but stories, when myths might be memories. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Ancient stories from all over the world describe a massive planet-changing disaster. Most of them say the same thing: a great flood, the end of an age, the near extinction of humankind. You've heard of Noah's Ark, right? But did you know there's a similar story in ancient Sumer about a man named Ziusudra who survives a global flood? Or in India, where the tale of Manu describes a divine fish warning him of a massive flood and telling him to build a boat. The Greeks had Deucalion. The Maya had flood legends too. Same with ancient China, Africa, the Pacific Islands. These cultures were separated by oceans, time, and language, yet their core story is the same. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe they're all echoes of a real event, that was burned into our collective memory, passed down through generations until they became myths. Just think, if a massive flood wiped out everything tomorrow, what would be left 10,000 years from now? A few broken pieces, a few carvings in stone, and maybe just stories. The cities beneath the waves. Let's talk about what rising seas leave behind. After the last ice age, sea levels rose over 400 feet worldwide. That's enough to swallow entire cities. And maybe that's exactly what happened. Take Dwarka, off the coast of India. Divers have found stone walls, paths, and even steps underwater. Some researchers believe it could be over 9,000 years old. That would make it one of the oldest cities ever discovered, but it doesn't fit the accepted timeline. So many scholars dismiss it. Then there's the Yonaguni Monument in Japan. Huge underwater stone formations, flat surfaces, terraces, and what looks like a staircase carved from solid rock. Is it natural or man-made? Debate continues. But either way, it's a reminder. Coastlines change. If people were building cities near the ocean, like we do today, then when sea levels rose, those cities would have vanished. And we're just beginning to look for them. Underwater archaeology is hard, it's expensive, dangerous, and slow. So the truth is, we might not be missing an ancient civilization. We might just not have found it yet. If we vanish today, let's flip the question. If our civilization disappeared tomorrow, what would be left in 10,000 years? Our cities? Gone. Our phones, computers, satellites? Gone. Even our photos, videos, and cloud storage? All wiped out if power goes out. Steel rusts. Concrete crumbles. Nature takes back everything. The only things that would survive: stone, maybe a few statues, maybe some carvings. That's it. So when we find ancient sites like Göbekli Tepe and all we see are stone pillars, that doesn't mean that's all they had. It's just the part that didn't vanish. Why this idea gets ignored? Now you might wonder, if all this evidence is so interesting, why don't we hear more about it? The truth is, history is a bit like a house of cards. Most academic careers are built on what's already accepted. Challenging that means taking a big risk, especially when funding, reputation, and entire institutions are on the line. Researchers like Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson have spent decades asking these questions. And while some of their ideas are controversial, not all of them are far-fetched, but they're often labeled as fringe, because it's easier to dismiss the idea than to challenge the system. Still, that's starting to change. As new discoveries come to light, buried ruins, ancient maps, geological evidence, more scientists are beginning to ask new questions. The gap between mainstream history and alternative theories, it's getting smaller. Are we the first? So, here's the big question. Are we really the first advanced civilization, or just the latest? We may never know for sure, but what we do know is this: the deeper we dig, the more we realize history isn't just what's written in books, it's what's still waiting to be uncovered. Maybe the truth has been hiding for thousands of years, just beneath the surface. If this made you think twice about what we know about the past, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share your thoughts below. Do you think we were the first? Or could there have been others before us? Let's keep the conversation going, because history isn't finished being written.